course in each of the sessions that we're doing, so you guys can get a really good idea, really get excited about what we're going to be doing together over the next 12 months. And I was actually hoping to do this year's exchange on online marketing because I'm really good at online marketing now. We're in this amazing online marketing mastermind with one of my heroes, Brenda Burchard, one of the world's best marketers. But then we did a poll. Actually, we did several polls, and leadership came out as the hugest, most needed, requested topic out there. Everyone is saying that they're having trouble motivating their employees, they're having trouble knowing what to do. And we took all that research and we put it into all of these slides. So I'm going to present pretty soon here, and I want you to just stay with me. Don't worry about writing things down, but write it down if you want. Try to move your body a little bit, get up and move around during the session, because 90% of what you learn will be retained if you write it down and listen and move around. Okay, Nika, do you want to introduce yourself or say anything else about the exchange, or do you want me to jump in?
I guess just really quickly, I'm Dominica. You probably have seen multiple emails coming from me. I'm the partnerships manager here at the Chamber, and I handle all of the events. So if you have any event related questions, please feel free to reach out to me anytime. And we're so grateful to have Kelli-Rae back for another year of the exchange. It's going to be wonderful, and we're really excited to have you, Kelli-Rae. So please get into your content.
Okay, awesome. So I'll just share my screen. And then I will. So I'll be watching my slides and thinking about doing a good presentation. And then Nika, maybe if I miss any comments, you can just kind of put your hand up. And anyone is welcome to ask any questions at any time. I will tell you though that today's presentation is going to be a lot of questions. So I'm asking you guys a lot of questions today to get you thinking about the topics that we're going to teach in the future, but I'm also going to teach you a little bit about each thing. So it should be really fun, and it should be like a mini session of what to expect for the rest of the year. So I need to figure out where to put your faces because they're covering my stuff. There we go. So it's been a year, right? And we're not going to say the C word because I don't want to talk about it anymore. But we need strong leadership now more than ever. I'm sure you guys have noticed a lot of your employees are tired. They're emotionally exhausted. They're scared, and sometimes they're even untrusting of you, their leader. And the really good news about this is that most of this can be improved with your stellar leadership. I don't think people realize just how important leadership is to employees. So we're going to talk about all the things today, and then we're going to get deep dive into each of the sessions over the next 12 months. So I wanted to quote this study that I read. There's actually several studies that prove this, but I want you guys to know that if you can improve your staff's trust in you, like so on a scale of 1 to 10, if they trust you at a 6, but you can get that up to a 7, that is equal to a 40% raise in income when you think about their life satisfaction. So leadership is so, so important to getting the best people, to keeping the best people, to making money in a business. And so I just wanted to say that you guys have so much power, so much power. And it's, yeah, we're going to get into it, but like, it's all the power. And so you need to learn to use it in a positive way, and an inspiring way, and a compelling way, so that your team can help you have the best year ever. So I have here on the bottom, we need exceptional leaders now more than ever. And I wanted to ask all of you, and I'd like you to say it, even if you've got yourself on mute. I really want you to say this out loud. I am ready to step up this year. All together now. Yeah, okay, good. And I'm going to start telling you now what stepping up looks like. So now that you've committed to something you don't know. So this is just going to be an overview of this year's sessions, okay? We're going to deep dive into these topics: leadership of self, leading your teams to achieve goals, successful leadership through constant change, leadership in marketing, leadership in online marketing, leadership through financial mastery, leadership and emotional intelligence, and challenging leadership conversations, And then last, leadership, forging your future. We're going to do strategic planning. We're going to talk about risk mitigation and flexibility. But I'm going to go do 2 slides on each topic so that you guys can get a really good idea of what we're going to do. And I'm going to ask you some questions to get you thinking. Okay. So this is kind of a topic that I'm not sure how into personal development you are. I hope you're all into it because it's amazing. It saved my life. But leadership of self is a requirement for successfully leading others. Our leaders don't get to just lead or manage. They have to read the books. They have to study these presentations. They have to get training from us. And it kind of starts with self-awareness. How self-aware do you think you are? Do you know who you are? Like if you were to write down, this is who I am, and this is what I want, and this is what I want to be, or who I want to be. Do you know those things? Have you thought about those things? If not, I encourage you to think about those things for sure. And if you're like me, write it down. And then a really important question is, are you moving towards what you want? Because the last year has really stomped on a lot of people's motivation. And I promise you, if you just take one little thing and check it off your list, if you just get one, I've got one of my team members in the room here with me, and she just knows, like our session yesterday, we got a huge OVO built, a funnel, and we finally got it finished. We're ready to record it, and I just like almost cried with joy and relief yesterday because we are moving towards our goals. So you got to have goals, you got to be moving towards them, because that feeling of progress makes you feel awesome and it motivates you to do more and be more for your people. So do you even have goals in your business? We should have a lot of goals. I will get into those later. Do you personally have goals? And do you tend to achieve your goals? And if you don't, why not, do you think? Also, how do you feel about yourself? This might seem like a really weird question, but this is really important, because when I am not appreciating myself in a healthy way and I'm not confident, we talked about this yesterday too. And then I had an awesome session with one of my mentors last night about confidence in leadership. If you're not confident and you don't know that you belong at the head of the table, or I don't know that I belong here teaching all of you amazing, beautiful people that showed up here today, then it's going to be a pretty soggy presentation, and it's going to be pretty uninspiring for your staff. So you want to know, if you don't appreciate yourself, there's an exercise in this book called The Success Principles by Jack Canfield. Anything by Jack Canfield's great. He's the chicken soup guy too, chicken soup for the soul. But he says, okay, if you feel like you haven't accomplished much in your life, start with passing kindergarten, and then write past grade 1, past grade 2, past grade 3. Start there, and then write down 100 things that you've accomplished. And there are so many things if you look back. And that is how I help people believe that they can do the next thing, is writing down a list of all the things that they've already done, and kind of remembering, oh my gosh, I thought that was impossible when I set it as a goal, and I smashed it. I'm awesome. Okay, so I'm not talking about being conceited or arrogant and that old mentality of you shouldn't brag about yourself, or you shouldn't be full of yourself. Get that out of your head, because you need to love yourself. You need to appreciate yourself. Otherwise, your people feel it and they won't follow you. And you know what they say about a leader who is not having any followers? They're just out for a walk, right? It's like an anonymous quote I like to bring up. So I also want to know, can you motivate yourself to get things done, even if they're not the most fun things in life? Like if you made a commitment and you're laying on the couch on a Saturday and you have a commitment, can you motivate yourself to get up off the couch and go do that commitment because you gave your word? Even better would be if you felt like you were leading yourself and you actually enjoyed doing those things. If you could have a positive attitude about it. And I was up at very early time this morning because my little dog had poop all over his kennel and himself, and then my house because I let him out before realizing. So before this meeting, I was in here rocking out to music, dancing around and getting really positive and happy and putting myself, and I actually even called my partner. He's the best visionary in the world. I have a partner in one of my other businesses, and I said, "Can you come in here and give me some good energy?" And he did. He's an amazing visionary, and we're going to get into that too. You all need a visionary, or if you're a visionary, you need an integrator. Okay. I want to talk about showing up intentionally. So, how many people can say that they honestly either like I did a little pre-presentation dance and I read some things that I have on my whiteboard, but how many of us say, I want to show up enthusiastically, or I want to show up confidently, or I want to show up and inspire my people today? Maybe show of hands. Everybody's got their cameras off on my view here. Oh, there, this is a better view. Hello. Awesome. So let's see those hands again. Who shows up intentionally? Oh, that's landmark, right, Andrea? Did we land there? Yes, awesome. So how do you show up for your team? Do you even think about how you show up for them? I know, myself included, a lot of us clean up the dog poop, get ready for work, don't bring lunch because you feel like you're going to throw up because you just clean up all the dog poop, and you get to work and you're just like, I didn't bring food, I didn't get a good sleep, and then your employees are like, hey, and you're just like, and then all of a sudden you just lost them for the whole day. They don't want to do stuff for you. They don't want to be around you when you're like that. They want to be around you when you're awesome to be around. And that could even be your intention for the day. I'm going to be awesome to be around. So, do you have a vision for your business? And guys, I know this is typical fire hose education from me. This is a lot, but this is just the first presentation, and there's going to be 9 more, and we're going to deep dive and we're going to get it all. Okay. So, do you have a vision for your business? Do you have like a 5-10 years down the road? Oh my goodness, it's beautiful. We're all so wealthy. The staff are paid double what other staff would be paid. And we've got 6 locations, and we've eaten up our supply chain, and we're now manufacturing our own products, and it's going to be awesome. And, that's the vision from my partner in one of my other businesses, and he never shuts up about it. And that's what we need to do as leaders. We have to have a vision that actually excites everybody, not just ourselves. And we need to get people on board with it. Are you excited about the vision, Mercedes? Oh, yeah. Everyone's excited about the vision. That was a hell yeah. She has her microphone on mute. So do you and your team feel compelled and inspired to achieve your vision? That's the next question. If not, we've got some work to do there, okay? Can you show up with intention, self-control, even if triggered? I'd say the early morning dog poop triggered me, and the energy and enthusiasm that you want to have. This is my second rock star of the day, but yes, I showed up with the enthusiasm and energy I want to have. And obviously I'm using myself as an example in all these, not to say that I'm the greatest leader ever, because I certainly am not, but because it's easier than picking on you guys and having one of you feel picked on, okay? So how much time do you commit to personal development every week? 5 minutes, like podcast in the car on the way to the business, or do you guys maybe read a book every week, or do you attend something like this once a month? The amount of time you spend making yourself better is going to directly affect your team, which directly affects your clients, which directly affects your net profit and your income. Okay. And I'm always going to tie things back to profit because I grew up without a lot of money. And from my very first management job, I learned how to find the money. So in business, my first goal is to go find the money, find the profit. But that's why I was such a terrible leader at the beginning, because I only thought about that until I realized it was all about my people. So how many limiting beliefs, if you guys haven't done any counseling or personal development, you're going to be like, these are the weirdest questions I've ever heard in my life. But I want you guys to be really, really healthy and happy and loving yourselves, and really just feel good showing up for your people. So how many limiting beliefs have you discovered and destroyed in your life? I don't know if you guys have ever read the book Millionaire Mind by T. Harv Eker. It's a good example of somebody who teaches you how to destroy limiting beliefs. So I make most of my clients read it unless they're already past the 1 million mark, because all of us seem to have some sort of weird $1 million mark umbrella or ceiling. But that book is really great. And can you hear that in the chat, actually, Mercedes? Fine. Oh, you're amazing. Thank you so much. And the next question is, do you unconsciously follow negative patterns that you saw modeled as a young person, or do you consciously choose different paths and ways of acting? So I'm talking about being really intentional about who you are. And you know what? As someone who's suffered abuse in my life and other traumatic incidents, and I know you all have a story that could make me cry too. We've all been through stuff, but I can show up intentionally. I just have to decide to do it, and so can you guys. Okay, sorry, I have to keep moving your faces to read the title. So leading your team to achieve goals. Can you guys see the title? Or yeah, okay, awesome. So we need a team to help us achieve our goals. We cannot do it alone, okay? You might be, maybe in the beginning, if there's anybody on here right now who's a solopreneur, you know, you're working night and day to get your business going. I salute you, I bow down to you, good for you. You are a true entrepreneur, and as fast as you can, get your finances sorted and get yourself an assistant, because the next level is to have a team. And so you really, really, really want your team to achieve the goals. You don't want to be the one running around trying to put cash in the register or trying to sign up all the clients. Like you want to be in your preferred role. So whatever you love to do in your company, I want you to do that. And then I want you to have the people who love what they do and are good at what they do in those roles. So this first line might piss a lot of people off, and we're going to talk about this. People have fought me on this a lot, but this works. This is why I'm teaching it to you, okay? So you may have noticed that the average worker does not feel like they owe you anything as their leader, and they don't. They don't. They don't owe us anything. If you can have a paradigm of gratitude and appreciation for them deciding to grace you with their presence, and they work hard for you, they stay late for you, they do anything you ask. I got here this morning and someone had cleaned my office and emptied my garbage and turned on all my lights, and everything was set up. It's like I work with magic elves. But like that's the kind of behavior and the kind of team that we have, because we act as if they are actually, we know that they are the most magical team on earth. We are so lucky to have them. We're so lucky they chose us. We're so lucky that they continue to choose us day after day. And we're so lucky that they go out there and they do the work with the clients. So employees require an emotionally intelligent, organized, clear, and incredibly inspiring leader. And we're not even halfway through. And some of you are probably thinking, I can't do all this. This is ridiculous. Like, this is so much. I'm tired just listening to this. But there's really good news. And we're going to put the book Rocket Fuel in the comments as well by Gino Wickman. I read this book years ago, and it perfectly describes myself and my partner in one of my other businesses. His name's Ryan. He is the truest visionary. He is the one who came in here before and just talked. And I was like, oh, yes, let me soak up your good energy. Thank you. He is the one who reiterates and reiterates and reiterates and gets everyone so excited about the vision, crazy excited about the vision. So most of you are either a visionary or an integrator. Okay, integrators like spreadsheets and charts, and they like calendars, and they like to project financials, and then they like to analyze their financial statements. They like to do marketing reports. Visionaries are just like, oh my gosh, please get me away from this desk. I need to go walk around and talk to people, and I want to just excite people, and I want to vision cast all day long. And the visionary forms great relationships with key customers. My partner actually just negotiated a crazy new lease for us in Calgary, the most amazing deal because we're expanding to Calgary. I'm going to talk about him all day if I don't stop. But so the point is, I recommend you read the book Rocket Fuel, because it is very true that you will not make it, you won't become one of those amazing businesses that has triple, quadruple industry average profit if you don't have a visionary and an integrator. Okay. And some of you might be lucky. You might be kind of a visionary and kind of an integrator, so you can kind of play in both roles, but that won't last. So as you grow and as you continue to expand, you want to either have someone who is like your assistant manager, or if you and your husband own a business together, one of you is a visionary and one's the integrator, or you can have a partnership. And I don't recommend partnership lightly. I've seen a lot of bad partnerships in my day and a lot of uh, partnerships destroyed in my day. So be very careful about that. You got to make sure you guys are perfectly suited to each other and you have very clear roles and goals if you're going to do that. But yeah, you can even have somebody called an admin assistant and they can be your integrator. But I really recommend you read that book, okay? They also need clear roles and goals. Now, this little rhyme got stuck in my head in one of my HR courses during my MBA program, and I thought, this is the most boring class I've ever been in. Like, HR is just so boring. But then I learned that HR is actually the most underutilized tool in the toolbox and that it's so important to business. So, clear roles and goals is a little rhyme one of my professors taught me. She said, "You'll never forget this." And I was like, "Oh, I will." But I don't. I talk about it all the time. And what this means is a clear job description and clear KPIs, key performance indicators or goals for everyone. This includes the owners, this includes the supervisors, this includes the team on the floor. Everybody needs clear roles and goals, and they need a monthly review. It can be 15 minutes, but you want to go over their KPIs and if they're hitting them. And you want to have those great conversations where you're a curious leader and you ask questions, encouraging questions, positive questions that help them come up with the answers to how they can hit their KPI next month. They also need you to keep your word in every case. They need to feel safe and they need you to trust them and be transparent with them. Now, if you guys are thinking this is ridiculous, this is so much stuff, and we're not even halfway through, I'm teaching you what I know works and I'm giving it my all. So if you do one of these things, you'll do well. If you do all of these things, you'll do exceptional. So you get to pick and choose. I'm not the boss of you. I'm just your temporary coach for today. So leading your team to achieve goals. So we really, like I said, don't want to have to achieve all the goals ourselves. I really love using my calendar to be organized. And actually people make fun of me all the time because I use my calendar so much. It's like every single minute is scheduled. My mom can attest to that, but actually Mercedes too. But when people look at my calendar, I get comments like, "Oh my gosh, I don't know how you live like that," or "It looks like you're the guy from A Beautiful Mind when I look at this calendar," or like, "Why are you so obsessed with your calendar?" But it's because I want to keep my word and I want to be the best leader that I can. So my reviews are in there. My KPI meetings are in there. If I said I'd grab coffee on Monday, that's in there. If I said I'd bring a book for someone to borrow, that goes in there. Because when it's in my calendar, I know I'll keep my word because I constantly check my calendar. And that is the system that I've come up with to keep my word and be the best leader that I can be. I even schedule my meditation, my exercise, and you guys, I recommend you put your real life in there too. Like we only have one 24-hour day, so you should have one calendar with everything in it. Personal stuff, kids stuff, work stuff. Otherwise, you're going to be very overwhelmed if you've got, the dance and the soccer calendar on the fridge, and then you've got your iPhone calendar for work. I really recommend using one calendar. Here's one of my secret weapons that I want to share with you guys. I don't know how I thought of it. Maybe I read it in a book. I don't think I did, but if I'm not giving credit to the person who thought of this and it's not my original idea, I apologize. But I have started asking my employees to write me a letter. When I bought into the other company that I talk about, I asked them all to write me a letter. And I said, "Write me a letter and tell me what I have to do to have you work here for the next 30 years. And some people were like, didn't write it. Like I had to ask like so many times. And then other people were like, oh, this is fun. This is great. I'm going to tell exactly what I want. And my newest employee filled this out for me. And it broke my heart and it inspired me to hell all at the same time because they let you know who they are and what they need and what they want. And instead of staying for 30 years, this last letter said, I'm staying forever in all caps. And so in my calendar every month is review my 30 years. So I go through all the 30 years from all my employees in both companies every month because I never, ever, ever want to take my employees for granted. I am so, so grateful for them. I'm so honored and blessed to be their leader. And this is that sort of intentional stuff that I'm talking about. And you can really get to know them when you do that. It's a really awesome thing to do. Okay, so now we're going to talk about, does anyone want to have any questions, or does anyone want to get up and like do a little turn because nobody looks like they're moving on my screens? Oh, a little bit of movement, just a little shoulder. No? Oh, there's some dancing. Thank you. Okay. Okay, so constant change. You know what? Last year had a lot of change in it, but so did every year before that. Like when I was a kid, I used to try to tape record the top 7 at 7 on the river with a tape. And now I'm like, oh, my headphones aren't connected to my iPad properly, and Siri didn't play the right song that I asked her to. Like we have like robot phones. We connect and communicate in amazing ways. Like change is all around us, and it's not going to ever stop. It's right. Change is the only constant. So plan out your change whenever possible. This sounds very simple, and some of these other ones do too, but stay with me. You really want to plan out the change and show the plan to the employees. Like, for example, if you're going to switch to like a 4-day work week, show them the new schedule and say, this is how it would work. You guys on board? Would this be fun? Would you like 3-day weekends every week? The answer is yes, by the way, and productivity goes way up, so I highly recommend it. But planning out your change will remove doubt and provide training for the change, right? Like, here's how we're going to do it. And it will let people know so that they're not just like, they come in one day and you're like, you're all using Macs now. And they're like, I don't know how to use a Mac. Second, I need you to deploy other effective leaders. And this sounds super obvious and like, why did we even write this down? Of course, we have to use effective leaders. But the thing is, there's a lot of leaders out there that suck. They didn't have any leadership training. They didn't read any leadership books. They didn't get trained by great leaders like you. They're not on this webinar or Zoom meeting right now. So make sure that you get your leaders leadership training and make sure that you choose those who will champion change with you and get them to help you help the team get on board. You know, those people that work for you that everybody likes, they're very like fun to be around, and when they talk everyone listens, and they're probably funny. Pick that person and get that person really invested in the change and have them help you. Third, make sure to measure employee engagement before, during, and after the change. So that means as simple as a monthly feedback survey, okay? We use Google Forms. Once a month on a scale of 1 to 10, how happy and engaged have you felt at your job over the last 30 days? And then the second question is an open-ended question, and it is, why did you choose that number? This will get you the information you need to get through changes successfully. And I don't want to scare you, but almost 80% of change initiatives fail. Sorry if you can hear me swallowing. So you need to do these things. I actually wrote my thesis on this topic. Change management is really interesting and cool. If you guys want to read about change management, John Cotter, I think we have like probably 6 of his books on that shelf. And Mercedes, I'm sure will throw that in the chat for you. But John Cotter is the father of successful change in business. And remember that number, 80% of change initiatives fail. 80%, 4 out of 5. So you got to do these things to make sure that your change initiatives don't fail, okay? Like think about all the changes you've tried to implement, a new policy or a new way of doing things, or, you know, now we sweep the shop before we leave for the night. How long did it last? A week, 2 weeks, 5, 10? maybe longer if it's in the calendar, but if nobody looks at it, it didn't stick, right? And so a lot of employees are like, yeah, it'll be this change will be around for a little while, but then it'll go away because we never do what they say for long. Do you know how many employees I've heard say that? So you have to start making sure that you plan out the change, use effective leaders, sorry guys, measure their engagement before, during, and after the change so that you can see how it's affecting them. And here I would say is the most important part. And this is something Ryan does so well. I want to give him like the best visionary in the world award. He created a compelling vision and for this company, for our changes that we're going through, and he talks about it all the time, and he talks about it in such an exciting way and an inviting way and like an inclusive way, like we're all going to this great place. And I always make sure to tell the staff, like you think you get paid well now, when we hit these numbers you're going to get paid double, like it's going to be outrageous how much money you make. And some staff don't care about money, so you have to remember that, because I'm focused on money. My language of appreciation is gifts and money. So I think that other people think that way. And we're going to talk about that in a few slides, but you have to remember that everybody else thinks like themselves. They don't think like you. So reiterate the vision, okay? Make sure that they're compelled and inspired as well as you. The fifth part of making sure that your change is successful is to create urgency. You want to talk about what will happen if we don't make this change. You want to explain why it's important. And I don't want you to scare your employees and tell them that you're going to go bankrupt if they don't make the change, because that's a little too far, okay? But I want you to create urgency because they have to know why this change is important. Otherwise, they'll be like, kind of like sweeping the shop. It just kind of died out, okay? You guys are going to get a copy of this presentation, so you guys can go back and watch all this if you want to. Oh, another great book, Brené Brown, Dare to Lead. I highly recommend that. Oh, sure. What is the question in the chat?
Dana Inkster wants to know, how do you balance strategic planning and remaining nimble enough to pivot when required?
Oh, great. That is our last slide, our second last slide. We're going to talk about strategic planning, flexibility, and risk mitigation. So thank you for that amazing question. And I'm going to address it when I get to that slide, if that's okay. Cool. Thanks. Okay. So another way that you guys can be really successful leaders through this world of constant change is to constantly and never endingly improve yourself. So counseling, oh my goodness, I wish that I could remove the stigma of counseling from everyone's brains and that everyone would just go to counseling, because it is so awesome. My husband and I went to counseling before we got married because we're like, we don't want to get divorced. We don't want to be like some other relationships that we've seen, and we don't want to model things that we've seen. So what do we need to do? And so we went to counseling together a few times. That was amazing. I go to counseling every week. And some people are like, oh, this chick must be crazy. No, I'm so smart. I'm proactively counseling. So I am every Monday at 6 o'clock for an hour on the phone with my counselor. And I talk about anything that upset me, anything that I want to be better at, something I feel like not confident at. You can talk to them about anything, relationships. If you have like a death in the family, which unfortunately we did this past weekend, we talked about that. And it's like a really good doctor that doesn't give you any prescriptions, but just really helps you with your head. Like if you have a stomach ache, you're going to go to the doctor, and or the naturopath or whoever you choose. But if you have something going on in your brain that doesn't feel awesome, talk to a counselor or a psychiatrist or a psychologist, or even just a mentor or a coach. You can also join masterminds about personal growth, about leadership growth. You can read books, my personal favorite. You can listen to audiobooks. You'd be surprised how many audiobooks you can get through if you just listen to it on your drive to and from work, or when you're walking, or when you're exercising. And you can do courses. Like there's so much. This is the best time in the entire world to be alive, because there's so much education and free education like this today online and available to you guys. Another key piece of constantly improving yourself is to ask for feedback every month from your staff on how you're doing. Like, how did you feel about the leadership over the past month? What would you change? Am I making you happy? Are you happy here? And last, this sometimes doesn't get received very well from some people, but I would probably guess that those people don't have a happy home life, the ones that get a little bit angry at me about this one. So I'll challenge you on this one, guys. If you don't like the last point here, then I want you to look at it and look at it for yourself and for your family, because when your relationships at home are right and you have a partner that lifts you up and writes you encouraging notes and thinks you're the greatest thing since sliced bread, it's pretty easy to come to work and be a good leader. But if you're not getting along, or there's fighting, or there's strife at home, get some counseling or get a book about it or get some coaching, because having that home life be that you come home and you just love it. You're like, my oasis, you know? And I don't have kids, and people are always like, you don't have kids, you don't know what it's like. I don't, I'm sorry, I don't. But I do still encourage you to really try to get those relationships at home to be harmonious. And I do have 3 gigantic, very slobbery dogs. So I kind of 1%, maybe 0.5% understand how it must be to have all that responsibility as a parent. But I think parents are crazy amazing. So if any of you are parents, congratulations for keeping them alive. Leadership and marketing. Okay, I love marketing. All right, how many people have a marketing plan? Oh, good. Yeah. Okay. So I'm only looking at 5 people here. 2 out of 5 is not bad, but that's only 2 out of 5. And everybody needs a marketing plan. So a marketing plan can be like a 1-page marketing plan that only includes like your mission, vision, culture statements, strategic objectives, and your UVP, your unique value proposition. Or it can be a beautiful 14-page. I think our marketing plan is 14 pages now, but it is so amazing because every section, every exercise you go through just further and further focuses you onto your goals and who you want to be in the world and brands you consistently. Okay. And so every marketing plan, even if you just listen to what I just said and make a marketing plan out of that, has to start with number 1, who am I if you're the leader, and who are we authentically as a brand? Because this is your company, this is your baby, this is your expression of self. And if you don't do a little free writing exercise on who are we authentically and who do we want to share that with, then it's not a good start to a marketing plan. So that's really important. And then the second piece that is like, the fact that people have a marketing plan or pay anyone marketing money without strategic objectives for the marketing plan makes me want to throw up. So you have to have goals for your marketing, right? Otherwise, you're just like, here's some money for the radio, here's some money for the newspaper. Why am I quoting all these older? Here's some money for Facebook, here's some money for Instagram, you know, and you're like, I hope it works. How many people are doing that? Just throwing some money out. Facebook's cheap. Well, it's not going to be cheap pretty soon, guys. It's not going to work on iPhones pretty soon. But that's for another session. So strategic objectives that can be achieved through marketing this year. You could pick a sales goal. You could pick a gross profit margin goal, because if we can sell more of our higher profit margin items, we can increase our overall gross profit and net profit. I've seen people do this really well. One of their strategic objectives for their marketing plan was hiring the key people they needed in all the positions on their team. And this company went in 3 years with me, one of my clients went from 2 people to 22 people. And they did that through marketing, because their marketing campaigns were like, come join us. It was like a video of how much the staff loved hanging out. It was a video about the leadership philosophy. It was just always attracting the best talent. So they had people to fill those spots. So with a marketing plan, if it doesn't have anything else, at least get the goals, okay? You have to have goals for your marketing plan. Otherwise, we're just throwing money and thinking, hopefully it works, right? All right. The next thing you need after a marketing plan, and don't stress guys, because I'm going to go into each session for the rest of the year. I'm going to deep dive on this and I'm going to teach you step by step how to do all of this. Okay. A monthly marketing report and review is the next key to leading in marketing. Now, if you guys do all the stuff that I'm teaching you today, your competitors are going to be so far below you that they aren't even going to be able to see you, okay? I've been doing this stuff and refining this stuff for 20 years, like I said, and this works. So in your monthly marketing report, you're going to review your strategic marketing objectives, because you always want to remember, what are my goals? What am I trying to achieve with my marketing and advertising? You're going to review how many Google reviews you got, because we all know those are very important. We're going to review how did you hear about us? And a lot of people aren't asking this, and I don't know why, because you can have all the online data that you want, but if people are actually walking into your physical location, or if people are buying on your website and you don't have a drop down forcing them to tell you, how did you hear about us? You are missing, I would say, the data that is as important as your financial statements. Like, it's so important to know where people heard about you. And it takes approximately 21 impressions of your brand nowadays for people to take action towards purchasing, because there's so many advertising and marketing messages. Like, I can see one across the street on the building, right? They're everywhere. So we want to know, where did they think they hear about us? It'll be like the last place they heard about you, or the one that's most top of mind. And I know it's not ideal because we can't extract from their brain all the 21 places that they saw us, but you can ask, where did you hear about us, and where else have you heard or seen us? Because that tells you where to spend your time and money. We don't want to be spending our time and money where it's not working. Okay. We also will review your email campaigns, like your open rates, your click-through rates, your purchase rates. If you guys aren't doing email campaigns, I highly recommend that you read the book Permission Marketing. I think it's by Seth Godin, but email's not going away, guys. And when you have someone's email, you have that email, it's yours, you own it, you keep it in your system. It's not on Facebook that could go down tomorrow, or on Instagram that changes its algorithm every week for all we know. Email marketing still works really well. Okay. And we'll get deeper into that when we get to that session in a few months. But if you're not doing email campaigns, I highly recommend you start. And there are free email campaigns. Like MailChimp is free up to 2,000 emails, I think. There's a lot of free ones out there that you can try. I got to get going a little bit faster here, guys. Sorry. Social media results. Obviously, we're going to look at what's working on social media for us. Are we getting a positive return on investment on this activity? And I have to brag on my team a little bit here, because when I got here to the other company, they were spending money. They were paying an outside marketing agency $1,300 or $2,000 a month, and we had no sales from it. And unfortunately, it was a contract. So I bought out the contract to get rid of them, and I trained my team, and we took our social media on LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, and Google from being an expense to 400%, 500% return on investment through our activities. And we spend zero money on marketing, and we get tons of leads from online now. So that's what I'm going to teach you guys in the marketing sessions and the online marketing sessions. We're going to review our top 3 engaging posts. We're going to review our Google posts, our Google Analytics on your website. If you don't have that on your website, please get it. We're going to review the ROI, the cost per customer, the cost per lead, the conversion rate. And we're going to most importantly talk about what changes are we going to make for this month and going forward based on that report. So what do we see here? There's a question?
From Gary, he just wants everyone to remind everyone about the castle rules if they don't know anything about email marketing.
Oh yeah, anti-spam legislation. Yeah, so if you use MailChimp or anything like that, they will have the anti-spam built in, so that when you email people, they always have the opportunity to unsubscribe. And if you guys have any other questions about email marketing, you can just ask your question on here, or you can get a hold of us after on any social media channel. Thanks, Gary. I can't see you, but thank you. So most importantly, what changes are we going to make based on this data? Okay, I want you to remember this. We make data-driven decisions. DDD, data-driven decisions. So when somebody tells me, I think I'm going to quit Twitter and I'm going to start using Pinterest, I'm like, what data do you have to support that? Well, I just think it looks fun. No, no, that's a visionary talking. So you need to get an integrator in there and get some data to make sure that you have your data backing up your decision, okay? Data-driven decisions in financial planning, in marketing, in coaching your team, every time, data-driven decisions. And then you can also, based on the report of the last month's marketing results, you can plan the calendar for next month. And there's a lot more to that, but I'm going to teach it to you in that session. So another 8 things I want to tell you, because this will improve your online marketing today. Google Business is the most important thing in online marketing today. You need to make sure that your Google Business listing is completely filled out. It's robust. It's got all your links to all your social media. You're posting on there at least twice a week, and you're trying to get positive Google reviews as much as possible, okay? Google likes Google. Google wants you to stay on Google. They don't want you to go anywhere else. So if you post on Google, even if people don't see your post, but they will, trust me, because your SEO is going to go way, way up from this. Google gets its Google juice from you posting on there, okay? So post on your Google Business twice a week. You can just take posts from Facebook and put them right on there. You don't have to do any extra work, copy and paste. Or on the app, as soon as you open the Google Business app, you just click post. It's right there when you open. You can put a picture. Just a reminder, make sure that you name your pictures a keyword that people would be searching for, okay? And if you guys are totally confused by all of this, we can have questions at the end, or you can wait for the online marketing session to come up in a few months, or you guys can contact us on social media later. Consistent branding. So you really want to get this right. When people have an impression of your brand, you want it to be the same impression of your brand that they had on Facebook, or if they saw you teaching a chamber event, or if they see a billboard that you have, or if they hear about you on the radio. Like you want to make sure that you're branded consistently. Otherwise, have any of you guys seen like a really great commercial or ad on YouTube and then you have no idea what company it's for? That's the kind of stuff that happens when you're not consistently branding, okay? You want to make sure that you're always consistently, you can use the same colors, you can have like a watermark, you want to be the same personality, you want to be authentically who you guys are, so consistently brand, okay? And then price consistently with your brand. People have a hard time with this, raising their prices, but raising your prices is one of the easiest, fastest, best ways to grow your revenue and your profit. And you don't realize that if you're having low prices or you're trying to be the cheapest, do not let your competitive advantage be that you're the cheapest, because that is a race to the bottom and that is how you go out of business, okay? The only company who ever did it well was Walmart because of their massive buying power and their bullyish supply chain managers. So, and they're, if you guys haven't heard, not that successful anymore. So I recommend be the best, give the best experience and the best products and the best service, and charge the most. Okay, high quality equals high prices, and people associate more quality with your brand if you charge higher prices. Okay, let that sink in. Other online marketing tips, use lots of video. Okay, I know it's hard, and the first few videos I did, I like just would watch them and be like, oh, my hair, my this, my that. Now I don't even watch the videos. I just give them to Mercedes and she makes them perfect and she puts them up. Okay, but you got to get on video and go live on video on the platforms that you're putting it on. Okay, because they love video. And it's not hard to become one of the most attractive, most followed people on things like LinkedIn, for example, because most people aren't doing anything on LinkedIn. So if you do a video a day on LinkedIn, you're going to get a lot of attention and hopefully a lot of leads if you're doing it right. But our Mercedes put in here for you guys, aim for 1 video a day. I prefer 3 to 5 videos a day, but if that's asking too much, just aim for 1 a day, okay? Just put up something, a tip or a hint or some value, and then make sure that you always have links on your posts or your videos so that you can either get them to give you their email or they link to a sales page where they can read about the products or services that you sell. Caption your videos. Please, people, caption your videos. when you see this replay, oh, I don't know, there's so many words on the screen, how we'll do it. Maybe we can have a background behind the words, but when you see our videos, they all should have words on them, because 90% of people are scrolling with their sound off, right? Because they're at work watching cat videos or whatever. So when people scroll past your video, you want to have words on there so that they know what you're saying, even though they can't hear you. Post as often as you can. Okay, pick one platform and post as often as you can on that one, your favorite one. Okay, the one where you get the best clients from, and aim to post 3 to 5 times a day. And remember that only a small percentage of your following are seeing this content. So don't be shy. Repost the stuff that works. Repost the good content. Very, very, very small percentage of people are seeing what you post anyways. So you need to post often, and you need to reshare the successful pieces. And just remember that. And what's the worst that's going to happen if somebody sees your content twice? They're going to like it twice. You know what I mean? Don't worry about that. They're not going to see it twice. They will not. It's like 2 to 5%. Okay, and then always refer to your strategic marketing objectives, your KPIs, so on the job descriptions, and your analytics to make sure that you're reaching your targets. And if you're not, what can you change to achieve your target? Ask your team. They're probably smarter than you at online marketing. And if they're not, they can Google it. Okay. I need to talk really fast for the next few, guys. And I'm sorry, this was meant to be more of an overview of all the courses we're going to do, or the upcoming seminars we're going to do, but I've just, it's so fun teaching this stuff. Leadership through financial mastery. So you need to know your numbers. When I ask you about your income statement, I want you to know how to read it. When I ask you about your balance sheet, I want you to understand it. When I ask you about your cash flow statement, I want you to know how that's different than an income statement. And I will teach you guys all of that in the financial mastery sessions. Make sure that you have a plan, a budget for the next 12 months for your fiscal year. Set out your goals for revenue, expenses, and profit, and then every month review your income statement to see if you hit your goals. If you didn't, fix it. If you did, celebrate it and systemize whatever helped you hit your goals. Okay. And then I really just wanted to mention this one quick thing. Make sure to check your gross profit margin on all of your offerings, because some of your suppliers have raised prices or shipping prices, or a lot of things. When we're at the very top, a lot of things can change that we don't know. So systematically, I'd say like every 6 months, review the gross profit margin on each of your individual offerings to make sure that it's still as high as you think it is. Okay, I'm going to skip this slide because we're going to talk about this when we have the session on it, but this is emotional intelligence, guys. Self-awareness, self-regulation, motivation, empathy, and social skills. And I'm going to teach you more about that in the session. And you're going to get a copy of this. Oh no, this huge page. Okay, so these are tips for emotional intelligence, guys. And I'm just going to grab a few of them and share them with you. And then when you watch the replay, you can pause and look at all of them, okay? Don't compromise your values ever. Don't blame other people. Take responsibility. Always find what you could do better in the situation, okay? Know your why. Have a vision to look forward to and focus on. Reiterate, reiterate, reiterate. That's very important. Commit to spend 90 seconds or less on any problem and the rest of your time on taking action and finding solutions, okay? Be easy to be around. Keep your word. Be trustworthy and trust people, okay? We're going to have some really deep dive training on leadership conversations. For now, I'm just going to tell you that I want you to ask questions. As a leader, questions are your superpower, and just make sure they're positive, constructive questions, not like, what's wrong with you? Or why would you do that? You know, ask like questions that can get some productivity going. These are the leadership conversations I'm going to teach you to have in our upcoming sessions. The challenging conversations, the KPI conversations, the feedback conversations, the vision conversations, the culture statement conversations, and starting with sorry conversations. And here is the strategic plan slide for Dana. So forging your future. So in our last session together, we will talk about strategic planning. We're going to talk about building in flexibility, because that is the most important characteristic your business can have. And we're going to talk about risk mitigation. Okay. And this is just a quick overview of some of the pieces of the strategic plan. And we will go through all of that in the strategic planning session. So somehow I made it and it's 12:58. So I'm going to, oh yes, I really want to read this to you guys. So I know that sometimes it can be a thankless job at the top, but the honor, gratitude, pride, and joy we feel when we make our employees happy, help them achieve their goals, like their personal goals, like buying their first house, cool goals like that, when we help our clients achieve their goals through our products and services, and when we can make a powerful and positive difference in the world, it more than makes up for the hard times. So I am going to teach you how to feel honor, gratitude, pride, and joy 99% of the time, and only 1% hard stuff. Okay, that's my plan for this year. So with that, does anyone have any questions? Yes, someone does. One sec.
Perfect.
So Charlene would like to know.
Oh, unmute yourself. Mute yourself, I mean, sorry, please.
Sorry, so Charlene would like to know, how do you continue to come up with original content to consistently put out video and post that many times a day?
Oh, that's a great question. So I've been at this business for almost 7 years. So I have 7 years worth of video and posts that we can recycle. The most popular ones, we actually recycle up to 75% of our content. So we go take the best performers and we repost them with a new picture, a new background. Also, if you can do a blog every week or an email every week, what I do is a Monday email. So I write a nice Monday email to my subscribers. It gets taken by Mercedes, she turns it into a beautiful blog. Then she chops it up into 50 different posts. She makes little mini clips of the videos. She adds some little captions. So if you can do 2 long form pieces of content each week, you can get that chopped up into tons of posts, like quote cards, or just like even a picture of you saying something, or like 5-second video clips, 30-second video clips. Does that answer Charlene's question? Awesome. Okay, and guys, the only thing I ask is a huge favor. If you can please Google TMH Business Coaching and leave a few comments with a Google review if I've helped you, inspired you, or educated you at all today. I would really, really appreciate that. Those are very helpful for us. And I thank you in advance for taking the time to do that. Any other questions? Oh, awesome. Great. Thanks, Mercedes. And Mercedes is the master at social media and editing and graphic artistry and photography and videography. So if you guys have any questions, especially like Charlene's questions, you can email her. I think she said she threw that in the chat. Don't all email her, she has work to do. But yeah, please feel free to reach out because we're getting really great results with our social media and I want to share that with you guys. So no more questions? Everyone's just like, oh, that was too much information. Don't worry, we'll break it down. We'll have lots more focused training over the next 9 sessions. We'll go one at a time through each of the topics that I shared with you guys. Okay, good? Okay, please don't forget to leave us a Google review. Thank you guys so much for allowing me to be here with you. It's such an honor and a joy to be able to present and interact with you. And I'm sorry I didn't get more of you talking during this session. That was the hope, but as you can see, I put too much stuff in my slides. So I'm sorry. So you can talk at the next session. Thank you guys so much for being here. Hope you have a really, really, really fantastic day.
Thank you so much, Kelli-Rae. That was such an informative presentation. We truly appreciate it. I'm sure everybody here got a lot of great information from it. The next session is going to be at the end of April. Everything is loaded up in our calendar on the Chamber website. So please feel free to head over to our website and register for those events in advance to make sure you secure your spots. And thank you everyone for attending. Thank you again, Kelli-Rae. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to myself. I'd be happy to register you for the next events.
Awesome. You guys have the best day ever. Be intentional. Bye, guys.